where does my face end and my beard start? That's a mystery that's never going to be solved. Before you start a video, it's always very important. That's what I've learned, and I learned it the hard way. To use something like that. This is a color chart to match the colors from your camera to what colors are supposed to be like. And that way you avoid having colors that don't look like anything that you wanted. Anyway, I hope that the sound quality is okay. I've never done a video in this apartment since we moved in here. It's been a while. So I've done a lot of videos, but not the talking head video. Yeah, I hope the sound is okay. And I will also try to avoid looking at myself in the screen, because that's also something that I always tend to do. Not because I'm narcissistic, but just because if you see something moving on the screen, you tend to look at the screen. In that case, I'm the thing moving in the pretty much inanimated room in which I'm in. And also I need to check focus from time to time, because I'm on a manual lens on my Lumix G9, and I am at f/0.95. No spoilers, I'm not going to tell you which lens I'm shooting on, but maybe you can guess. Some of you probably already can guess. So yeah, I also have to check if the focus is right, and that's why sometimes I'm looking here instead of here. Also, you're probably going to hear a lot of background sounds, not from my flat, but from the neighbors. I live in Berlin, and in Berlin the old buildings have very thin walls for some reason. And yeah, my neighbors have two lovely kids, so you are probably going to hear them a little bit from time to time. Why am I talking so much? Let's get to the main topic of the video. First of all, let me introduce myself to the people that don't know me, which is probably a lot. I took notes because I cannot remember who I am, apparently. So I'm Dan. I am a content creator and writer. And yeah, today I wanted to make a video to talk about my favorite Micro Four Thirds lens, camera and lens combos that I own. So I choose every time one camera and one lens that is the perfect match to counterbalance in certain cases the weaknesses, or in certain cases to avoid overkill, if I may say so. I'm freestyling a lot of this, so bear with me. I have a point, I promise. Let's first explain why I started having Micro Four Thirds lenses and cameras. To start with, I was living in a different apartment on the ground floor in Kreuzberg. I loved that apartment. In the end, there have been some issues, but I loved being there. Until someone broke into my flat. It actually happened twice. And the first time they broke in, they stole all my camera gear, which really sucks. Back then I didn't have an insurance, so I was kind of struggling a little bit, thinking that I would have to replace all my camera gear. How much would it all cost? Because I had a bunch of lenses, and a couple of camera bodies as well. My main camera back then was the Canon 80D, which I loved. Yeah, what camera would replace that Canon 80D? Before they broke into my flat and stole all my stuff, I remember carrying the Canon 80D with a bunch of lenses, one of which was the Sigma 17-50 f2.8, which was a lens that I really loved, actually, I have to say it. There was a stabilization built in the lens, and also the zoom range was quite good. Autofocus was alright. It was loud, but it was alright. and it helped me capture some of the shots that I've used from my videos from Thailand. So part 1 is out, part 2 is out, part 3 and 4 may still in the making. For some reason I cannot get to it. And I remember carrying that thing around with all those lenses and remembering that it was at some point very heavy, very heavy. You know, when you go out for a day of urban exploration and whatnot, you spend the day like not knowing when you get home, and also not really knowing what to do, like what you're going to do, especially if you're in Bangkok and you just go out with a friend in the morning and have zero plan of what the day is going to be like. So I remembered being in a club at some point, Sway, for the ones that know in Bangkok, a really cool hip-hop club. I mean, back then it used to be cool. I don't know how it's like now. I remember carrying my big ass Canon 80D DSLR around me, and just not really being able to fully enjoy the evening, because like, you know, you cannot really dance if you have like a big DSLR hanging from your side. So that was something that I wanted to change, buying something new. And at that time I also happened to work at eBay, and I was in charge of the electro device section, working as a marketing manager. And I heard about this Olympus camera that was small, that looked like an analog camera. I compared it to a couple of Fuji cameras and also some Canon cameras, but that Olympus OM-D E-M5 Mark I original ticked a lot of boxes for me of things that I did not have before, but that I really needed. Mainly a camera that was beautiful. When you look at the Olympus OM-D E-M5, it's a beautiful camera. I'm not saying that the Canon Rebel series or the ADD series are not nice cameras or like beautiful cameras, but the Olympus EM5 just matched my type of aesthetic that I wanted in a camera more. And also I just liked the form factor in terms of size. So not just the design and aesthetics, but also the size. On top of that, that camera had in-body image stabilization, IBIS. And that's something that I was really missing in the Canon ADD, because I would always have to think what I was going to do and which lens I would have to bring with me. If I was walking a lot and I wanted to get stable footage, I would have to carry my Sigma 17 to 50 or 55 f2.8, because that one had image stabilization built in the lens. But if you know that lens, it's pretty big. It's like something that you cannot just carry around. I mean, you can, but it's a commitment. And knowing that the EM5 just had in-body image stabilization and that I could use any lens with it and having stable footage is something that I was looking for. I didn't really care for like the fact that it was a smaller sensor size. I just I made it work with, yeah, I didn't need all those megapixels. I didn't need all those things that the camera industry tells you that you need, and you don't need full frame, like I don't. And when I work with full frame now for video mainly, I struggle to use it because sometimes the depth of field is way too thin, but that's a topic for a different video. I ended up getting the EM5, and I remember buying a couple of cheap lenses. I mean, they were cheap, but still very good. The first one was the 45, the Olympus 45 or 42.5 or 45 f1.8. And then I bought a couple of cheap lenses, some Chinese ones, manual focus lenses. And I remember being at Fête de la Musique here in Berlin. It's pretty much an event where you walk through the streets of Kreuzberg, and there's like, there used to be before Corona, there used to be events happening in front of every bar, in front of every Späti, and DJs would play live there, and you would just go from one spot to the next, enjoying the music. And as long as you like the music, you stay there, and as soon as you didn't like it anymore, just bounce, you go elsewhere, you have a drink, go get some food, and then you go back to a different spot and dance for the rest of the night. I mean, until like 1 or 2 a.m. And I remember like this one video I shot at night. Micro Four Thirds was not known for being good in low light, and I remember having this one shot of some of my friends dancing, and there was not a lot of light on the streets. And I came home that night, I looked at some of those videos and realized that it was amazing. The image stabilization in the camera, and you add to that the organic look and the beautiful color signs that you get from Olympus, I was blown away. And someone broke into my flat a second time, obviously, stole my camera gear again. But this time I had an insurance. It really sucked though, because they stole like, you know, like my laptop and stuff. I had some photos on there. They caught the guy though. I don't know how. They caught the dude, and I ended up, after like months, like almost a year, I got my laptop back. I got my camera back. I got my old Handycam back. I didn't get all of the things back, of course, because he sold the ones that had the most value. I think they probably caught him because he googled on my laptop something like how to unlock iPhones and iPads. So he probably, the day that this guy came and stole all my stuff, he probably went through my whole neighborhood, and yeah, the police ended up catching him. So I had to, but before I knew that they caught him, because I was informed about like 5 or 6 months later, I was in the same situation again. What camera am I going to buy? Knowing that my needs have changed in those couple of months, I started doing a different type of videos, and I read everywhere pretty much that Lumix was the way to go if you wanted to create content that's more focused on video compared to photo. And I had a couple of projects in the pipeline, but I wanted a camera that was more video-centric compared to photos. Compared to the EM5, there was more photos and videos, but more photos. So I ended up getting the Lumix G81. Pairing it with a couple of lenses, I'm shooting a couple of projects, very happy with it. And I think that till this day, the G81 or G85 or G80 still is my main camera, and the one that I would keep if I had to keep only one. I think it's like the perfect combo of functionality, size, and it has everything that I need in a camera. But I bought many other cameras after that. I bought a Gx85 or Gx80, depending on the region. I bought a Olympus OM-D E-M5 Mark 1 again. Yes, because I love this camera so much, and I was so happy with some of the photos and videos that I got from it that I had to get one again. I also bought an Olympus Pen Mini EPM1. Super happy with that camera. The rendering, I don't know what it is about it. Every time I put a lens on it and go outside, I get amazing photos. There's some magic to this older generation sensor. Like, I don't know what it is. So EM5, EPM1, Gx80, G81, and the G9 that I'm shooting on today, which is just a beast, and that's also why I'm shooting on it now. I don't know, it does everything I would need a camera to do, but it's bigger. It's bigger. It has a better handling than all of my other cameras carrying it. But I have a Guillain-Barré disease, which is pretty much a necrosis from some of the bones in your hands, which means that it's sometimes difficult for me to carry heavy lenses or heavy like cameras, heavy things for a long period of time. So this camera is what I keep. I mean, I keep this camera for when I want something like very qualitative, but where I can control pretty much everything. I have like the Lumix app. This thing works perfectly with the Lumix app. Also, it has, I don't know, it has everything that you'd need. And yeah. And I have a bunch of other cameras, but I'm just going to talk about Micro Four Thirds now. And recently I bought a Lumix GH2. Like it's a, I don't know, I think it's about 12 years old now. But I found this dude's channel. I think his name is James Morrison. I watched a couple of the videos, and one day I bumped onto a video that he made about the Lumix GH2, and I saw the footage and I was like, why is this so pretty? Like, why does it feel so organic, cinematic? I don't know if I am qualified to talk about dynamic range and highlight roll-off, but I just had a feeling that, I don't know, it looked natural, organic, but still very qualitative. And after watching a bunch of his videos, I discovered that there is a way to hack the GH2, and that intrigued me. So I ended up getting GH2 without the lens, with the microphone, from someone here in Berlin, person living in the northern part of Berlin somewhere, and he sold it to me for a little over 100 euros, which is, I guess, a very fair price for that camera. And I got the camera, bought a new SD card, because you need to buy you need to have a new SD card if you buy the camera, obviously. So I bought a new SD card for the camera and followed his instructions, because he made a video on how to hack it, how to hack the camera. And I was impressed by the quality of it. I took it on a trip recently to Lanzarote. I went there for the second time now. And it did everything it was supposed to do, and I was super happy, still am super happy with the footage I got. There are many advantages to the GH2. Not going to get too deep into that topic either, because this video is going to be way too long. Now I'm going to talk about the different cameras and the different camera lens combos and the ideal lens combos of the cameras and lenses that I own, starting with the Olympus OM-D E-M5 Mark 1 original. That camera, I love it. I love that camera so much. That's not the point of the video. I added a battery grip. This is the EMA1, the Olympus EMA1 adapter. It's actually pretty hard to find nowadays, from what I read. I added two little dead cats top of the microphone. So basically you have an adapter and a microphone that you plug in with left and right channels, because audio is super important to me in my videos. I don't add a lot of music on my videos. I used to do that. I try to keep the organic sounds more and more, because sometimes adding sounds or too many sound effects or music improves the video, but it gets rid of some of the elements that make a scene. Okay, so one memory card is full. I'm glad that the Lumix G9 has 2 memory card slots. The perfect lens combo that I have with this camera is the Olympus 17mm f1.8. I have a little diffusion filter and a lens cap as well. That lens cap has the right size for me to put on a ND filter on it and just be able to remove it easily. And also I think that the diffusion filter for video is very important. I use that combo for video. Some people, I posted a couple of questions on Reddit the other day asking people how to optimize their settings or like their setup for their EM5 Mark 1. And a lot of people made fun of me, telling me that you cannot make serious videos with the EM5 Mark 1. Like, what's a serious video, first of all? And also, I don't know, if the camera shoots 1080 or even 720, but to me 1080 is like kind of a must. Actually, no, it's not true. I use a Handycam that's like, I don't know, I don't even know if it's 720. Yeah, 720p. But this camera is capable of shooting good video, and I shot a video in Thessaloniki with that lens combo, camera lens combo, and I shot some very beautiful photos and videos as well with this over the last couple of years. I'm not afraid at all to take that as a main camera when I go on holiday with that lens. Yes, when it's more like when things are far away, then obviously the 35mm equivalence in full frame terms is not going to be what you want, but this is something that I can easily just carry around. And the Olympus OM-5 original has in-body image stabilization, so I don't need an extra stabilization in the lens. If I don't want the mic, get rid of the adapter. And if I don't want the lens hood, I have it like that. That to me is like a pretty good combo. But I like my little accessories that make my cameras what they are. Like, I don't know, I'm a little nerd for certain things. And I like my things to be a little unique. Is it a flex? I don't know. Am I a hipster? Probably. But anyway, let me get to my second best camera lens combo. First one, Olympus OM-D E-M5 Mark 1 original with the Olympus 17mm f1.8. The second on the list, the second best lens camera combo is the Lumix Gx80 with the 20mm lens. First of all, look at it. How beautiful is that little kit? 20mm lens, f1.7, pretty good for even when there's not a lot of light. The autofocus sucks on that lens. You have to know how to use it, and if you don't, you're going to struggle. But if you somehow try to understand that lens, that combo is perfect. The GX80 doesn't have a mic input, but look at the size of this thing. In-body stabilization in the camera, 20mm lens. You have the possibility to add Cinelec D and Cinelec V, I think, in this camera. I have used only this for some holidays, for some trips, and never been unhappy with it, except that sometimes the lens can be a little too sharp. So I'd recommend using it with a diffusion filter if you don't want that clinical sharpness that a lot of people criticize, and that I also don't really like. But yeah, get the diffusion filter. This is my second best combo, camera lens combo. Not my second best, but my second in the video, I suppose. Next one on the list is the Olympus EM1 Mini. Tiny, really small one, with the Olympus EVF2 that I'm really happy with. I even added like an external rubber cup for the eyes. Initially it comes with a very small one, and I prefer to really be isolated from the sun when I shoot. I never know which eye to use, left or right. If I use the right one, I can make eye contact with the person that I'm photographing, but I don't know. I like also to be isolated, closing the right eye totally. Anyway, the perfect lens to me for that camera is the 14-42 Pancake by Olympus. I think it's an amazing combo. Look at it. If you remove the huge viewfinder, then that thing is like, it's tiny. And that lens is amazing. I love it. It's not my lens, it's my girlfriend's lens. I bought it for her ages ago from a very charming person in the southwest of Germany. And it's sharp, it has a beautiful rendering, it's just very good. And I use this for photo mainly. I tried shooting video with it, but I don't know, it wasn't really what I was expecting. It doesn't, like, this camera doesn't have a lot of dials, so managing everything is a little bit too complicated for me for a video. For photo I have no issue at all. And listen to that sound. It's super satisfying. Olympus EM1 has stabilization in it. I think all Olympus micro four thirds cameras have image stabilization. That lens, like that combo, it's tiny. I'm super happy with the quality. And yeah, initially I bought that camera for my mom. I ended up falling in love with it. I wanted something small for her because my parents live in France and there's like always pretty things to see and to take photos of. And I wanted my mom to have like a dedicated camera, not just like a phone camera, but something that she could use with a viewfinder. So I bought the viewfinder for her, I bought this camera for her, and I ended up keeping it. And buying her a camera that has like 2 more dials or 3 more dials, which is also an Olympus camera, but it's the Olympus EPL3, I believe, which is pretty much the same camera as this one, but that it's a little bit easier to use. So yeah, pairing number 3, the Olympus EM1 Mini with the 14-42 Olympus lens. I love it. This is my Lumix G81 or G80 or G85, depending on where you are. I have my little Sennheiser microphone on top with my deadcat on it. And I have an adapted vintage lens. So I have this little lens adapter. I don't know if you can see. Old meets new. Newish, because this camera is not new. Like I told you, I love my Lumix G81. I use a lot of lenses with it. I love to pair it with the 70mm as well, the Olympus. I love it with the 20mm, but I found that old Nikkor lens, old analog Nikkor lens, 28-50, f3.5, speed boosted. With this Viltrox focal reducer, it becomes f2.8. 28-50, so that's pretty much a 40-71 full frame equivalent lens, f2.8. When I take that combo out on the streets, and shoot with it, the images I get are fantastic. And thanks to speed boosters, I can use that lens with all of my cameras. There is a drawback to that combo, unfortunately, because I like to use my stabilizer paired with vintage lenses, because a lot of them end up being a little bit longer, because when you convert them or when you adapt them, you lose the wide aspect of certain lenses. And when you pair a vintage zoom lens with a camera like that, if you don't have like electronic contacts on your speed booster or your focal reducer, then the camera does not know at what focal length you are. So you would have to manually set it every time you zoom in and zoom out. Like those lenses have like a zoom mechanism. This is like the focus, and this is how you zoom in or zoom out. And this lens actually is amazing because it has macro capabilities. This lens is super cheap. Like you can find that lens for about 50 euros. I don't know how the prices are evolving at the moment, but I got this for about 50 bucks on eBay Kleinanzeigen, which is, I believe, the equivalent of Craigslist in the US, or Le Bon Coin in France, or Facebook Marketplace, but in an app. And yeah, because I worked for eBay, I kept eBay Kleinanzeigen. I don't know, it's somehow an app that I like to use more than Facebook Marketplace. Yeah, so the really nice best lens combo, camera lens combo for the Lumix G81 is the Zoom Nicker 28 to 50 f3.5 adapted with the Viltrox focal reducer on that camera. I get amazing stuff with that, and I love it. You put that on a tripod, it allows you to get excellent video quality, beautiful photos. You can zoom in a little bit if something is a little too far away for you. I love it. But I have to say that I would like one day to get the Lumix 14 to 140 weather sealed with a weather sealed body. Stay hydrated, drink more water, but don't drink too much water either. Like, just drink enough water. Then I have the very surprising camera lens combo that I mentioned earlier. I mean, I mentioned the camera earlier, but not the lens. The Lumix GH2, the hacked one, with a small L angle adapter, 2.5 to 3.5, because it's a small, like a smaller jack input, a 2.5 I believe. And my microphones that I have, this is the EduTeej, amazing microphone, amazing microphone, 3.5. If you can buy this microphone somewhere, at some point, do it, because EduTeej went bankrupt, so those things can no longer be found. But I don't think I've ever had a microphone as powerful as this one. Get it if you can. You pair that with a camera or with something like that, a Zoom F2, and you get amazing audio. It's omnidirectional, so you pick up the sounds from everywhere. If I'm behind the camera, it's going to pick up the sounds from here. It's going to pick up the sounds from in front of the camera, from everywhere. But get that microphone if you can. GH2 hacked, and the lens that I use it with. And this lens combo is incredible. Incredible. I love it so much. It's the Lumix 14 to 42 Pancake. Power OIS. My issue with cameras like this, or with the Blackmagic Pocket original cinema camera that is on my list, I'm going to get it one day. is that they don't have in-body image stabilization. I like to walk around with my cameras and like be spontaneous and just shoot as soon as I see something that triggers my creative juices, or is that a sentence? But yeah, if I see something that inspires me, or that that makes me curious, or that I found aesthetically pleasing or intriguing, or I don't know, I want to be able to just take my camera out and like get nice footage that's somehow stable. And with cameras like the GH2 or some of the other GH series, I believe, and something like the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera, Pocket OG, I don't have that. And I saw there's one video from a YouTuber, and I fell in love with the way the Blackmagic rendered the image paired with this lens. The issue with the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera is that it doesn't allow you to focus just with the camera. You have to do it manually. So if you get a lens like the Lumix 12 to 32, you can zoom in, but you cannot focus. And this is like very annoying. And this YouTuber, I'm going to try to find a link to his video. Forgot his name, I'm so sorry, but he makes very slow pace, amazing, very qualitative videos actually. And he inspired me to get this lens. Because this lens has zoom in, zoom out, and here you can focus with a button. And this is something that I have been looking for in the event of me having like buying a cinema camera, a Blackmagic one. So that's why I bought that lens. So I bought that lens before owning this camera. But this camera has the same shortcomings pretty much as the Blackmagic camera. It doesn't have IBIS. And that's why I bought this lens. That's why I paired this lens with it, and I took it on a trip to Lanzarote and added diffusion filter on top and an ND filter, because Lanzarote, Canary Islands, is always a lot of light during the day, and I want to stick to my 24 frames per second, 50 shutter speed. So that camera lens combo is amazing. When you open it up, looks like that, but when you carry it around all day long, it's tiny in your pocket. And I actually cannot believe that a camera like this is without the microphone, that cameras used to have this size and pack as much as this camera does. And paired with that lens really balances out the shortcomings of that camera, the GH2. I love it. I don't know. This is like the image I get from this combo is amazing. And with the hack that I've installed on it, you even get to unlock 24 frames per second cinema mode, and you get better codecs for the audio as well. So the quality of the mics that you plug in is improved as well. As a viewfinder, and with this lens, it's stabilized and it looks amazing. I love it. I mean, my lens is kind of beat up. I bought it from someone on eBay Kleinanzeigen again for 130 euros because it was not in the best condition. At one point it got stuck, maybe some sand went inside the motor, but I love it, and I'm not going to, if this one breaks, I'm going to buy that same lens again. And I'm even considering buying a second GH2 because I'm so happy with the quality I get out of this camera. Okay, this camera is famous. A lot of people know it, a lot of people love it. I'm just going to stop the recording real quick because the G9 has a recording limit that the hack GH2 does not have, and it's recording again. This is my Lumix Gm1. This is a tiny camera, like it's ridiculously small. After watching a video from a YouTuber whose name I cannot remember right now, obviously I even bought this little tripod, JOBY tripod for it, because it just is perfect if you just want to carry around a camera with you and record some stuff. My girlfriend is a yoga teacher, so we often go spontaneously shoot some content. If I don't want to carry around a big box of gear with me, a big bag of gear with me, I take that combo. That's the 12-32 lens, the Lumix Pancake. I think this is also a match that's ideal to me because the camera doesn't have stabilization, the lens does have stabilization. And here I can control pretty much everything. I love the shutter sound of the Gm1, sorry. Damn, there's dust on here. That's disgusting. Dust and like spider webs, like what? Anyway, sorry. The 12-32. This is an amazing combo. If you don't need an external viewfinder in the camera, then you can get this combo and you're going to be more than happy. The Gm1, first of all, I think in this colorway it looks amazing. I messed up the flash. It does have a flash. I really messed up the flash actually, because for some reason at some point I decided that this was going to be what I am recording my little videos on. So I decided, because I didn't use the flash, to put glue on it and add like a Velcro strap and add my Zoom F2 on top of it like that, with my mic sticking out, like my EduTeach, my tiny one. And this was the combo that I would use for certain scenes like interviews, and because having something like that, like a camera this small, makes people want to talk to you if you will go to interview them, and it makes it less intrusive. So yeah, I think this is a really good combo as well. The 12-32 with the Gm1. Nope, stabilization in the body, stabilization in the lens. Marcus Pix also made a video about this this camera. I don't know if he made the video about that lens specifically, but I love Marcus Pix, and yeah, he always makes, I don't know, he gives very good tips about cameras and the stuff that you need and the stuff that you don't need. And yeah, he inspired me to get that camera. And I use it most of the time, that lens camera combo, with a diffusion filter as well. So I have them in a lot of sizes. This is a 37 one, 37 millimeters. This is a wide angle adapter from Panasonic that I bought from a very charming man that was in pretty bad condition when I met him. I'm not going to talk about this too much because I can get emotional when talking about it, and that's not the point of the video. I hope that he's okay. He probably isn't, because he sold me this. Anyway, I got this from him, wide angle adapter that matches this perfectly. So this wide angle adapter, the name is way too long for me to read it. If you're interested, I can write it in the comments. Just ask me the question in the comments. It looks ridiculous, but I promise you, if you were to go to something like a carnival or like a street festival, or if you want to shoot in a small space, my girlfriend's a yoga teacher. She sometimes shoots yoga here in our living room, which is like not a small living room, but sometimes you want to, like as a yoga teacher, you have to show your the entire movement of what you're trying to make. Sometimes it's like horizontal movements that take a lot of space that are horizontal, sometimes very vertical, and you don't want your hand to be cut, you don't want your feet to be cut, so you use something like this, 12mm plus wide angle adapter, which makes it almost fisheye. It adds like a nice touch to it, like it makes the image very strong visually to me. This is a nice combo. And I mentioned it earlier that sometimes I have an issue with cameras that don't have like a viewfinder. So I bought this very overpriced but amazing combo of one element that is like magnetic that you glue on. I mean, it's a sticky surface, but I don't trust like the glue that was on there. I don't think it was strong enough, so I added some extra glue. And then there's that element. You put that on top and you have your viewfinder. And that's also a tip that I got from Marcus Pix. I look ridiculous on camera right now, but trust me, that combo is amazing. And if you don't want to have that long thing on the camera all the time, you can just take it off, put it around your neck, put it in your pocket, put it no matter where you want to put it. And that pretty much makes this camera a camera with a viewfinder. Also, by putting it close to your eye, you add a lot of stabilization on top of the image stabilization from the lens. And I don't know, to me this is like an amazing combo, and I love to use it like that. It looks ridiculous, and also it somehow reminds me of those Super 8 cameras. Hold on one second. Something like that, you know? My last lens camera combo, and then I'm going to end up this video because it's been way too long, is my Lumix G9 with amazing image quality, amazing image stabilization, amazing, I don't know, like everything about this camera is amazing. I think 1 month, 2 cameras made a video about the G9 explaining that it's her favorite camera of all time, or just currently, doesn't matter. Look at the video as well, like watch it. It's a really good video where she explains pretty much why she loves all the cameras that she loves and which one her favorite is, and the Lumix G9 is her favorite camera, and I understand why. To me, the best lens for the G9 is the Mitakon Zhongyi Speedmaster, the 17mm f/0.95. This is to me the best lens for the Lumix G9. In terms of what it packs, it's all you need. I mean, it's all I would need. It's heavy. It's a heavy combo. That's the only issue. But this lens balances well on the bigger body. I cannot show it to you right now because I'm recording on it, but I'm going to add photos or like add B-roll of it. That lens, like the 70mm lens, with the G9 or with the G81, but with the G9, it makes so much sense as a pairing. The quality that I'm shooting on it right now, I'm very happy with the quality, and I'm moving around a lot. Like, I've been sitting all day editing. I'm just very, like, I need to move more, but this is the perfect pairing. The stabilization on the G9 doesn't need you to have like an additional stabilization, so pair any lens with it and you're going to be fine if you set up your stabilizer to the right focal length. But that lens, this 17mm, amazing combo, and you see it right now. Like, I'm shooting at, I think I'm at 0.95, that's why the depth of field is super thin, but the image quality I get from this is perfect. Sometimes I use this for Zoom calls, and people are always impressed when people use the webcam on their MacBook Pro or something, and they blur out the background, and I blur it with the lens on this, and they don't know how I do it, and like I explain it to them, but they still don't understand it. But yeah, that to me is a perfect camera lens combo, and I've used it quite a bit as well in the past, even on travel. But when you travel with it, it's a big boy. It's a big boy, so if you want to carry it around, be aware that it's not going to be the smallest micro four thirds body that you're going to have, and people are going to give you looks, like bad looks, if you try to just sneak in a photo or video or something. Yeah, that lens, that camera, those two together, and this is pretty much all you need to shoot like a little future film. I also have a battery grip for the G9, which makes the camera even more stable, because the more weight you add, the more stability you usually get in your videos. I could have chosen plenty of other lenses, mainly on the Lumix G9, the G81 and the Gx85, because if you were to pair this with, let's say, something like the 12-32, you get dual IS, which makes the footage even more stable. But I tend not to shake too much when I record videos, so those combos with one image stabilization per combo is enough for me. I don't necessarily need the dual IS. I think it's cool to have it, but on something like the G9, the stabilization is so good, you don't need anything else. That's it, I think. Long as video. I'm super hungry now. I'm going to cook something. I'm going to make burgers, gluten-free burgers for my girlfriend and I tonight. It's almost 9 p.m. I'm really hungry, so I'm going to heat up the cast iron pans. Alright, thanks for watching. I hope that you enjoyed the video, that you've learned something. I hope that I have not bored you to death. And yeah, let me know if you have any questions about anything I've said. You can just post it in the comments. You're well aware of that. If you have any questions, any comments, anything that I said that is wrong, that you disagree with, please add it in the comments as well. I truly believe in feedback in general. I truly believe that having discussions with people that don't think like you is very important for you as a human to grow, for me as a content creator to grow, as a camera lover, a lens lover. It's always nice to discover new points of views. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I'm too hungry. I cannot focus anymore. Have a good one. Bye. I just realized that for big chunks of this video, my face or beard, we'll never know, has been cut off by my framing. I apologize for that. Ideally, the framing should have been like that, with me in focus. But obviously, when I start talking and I start moving around, I stop showing you things, and yeah, I end up moving. Sorry about that.